everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Student Fyre podcast, live from the Speak Fyre studio. My name is Bobby Berg. I'm a motivational speaker for schools, and I'm here to help you live your best life today. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Student Fyre, live from the Speak Fyre studio. I'm your host, Bobby Berg, and y'all, thank you so much for coming back. I hope you've had a wonderful week. I hope you are inspired. I hope this weekend was great for you. You had some time to relax. You had some time to kick back. You had some time to spend with family. You had some time to just spend enjoying the free time that you had. But guess what? It's Monday morning. It's Monday morning at 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're about to rock this week. Why? Because you woke up with me. You woke up ready to take on the world. You woke up and said, you know what? I'm going to check out Student Fyre. Why? Because today starts my day of being the best student that I can be. Let's get into this. Who here has test anxiety? How many people have actually woken up, gotten to class, and your teacher says, oh yeah, there's a test next week. And what happens? You freeze up, your heart rate starts going a little quicker, you start breathing really shallow, and this impending doom thought just permeates into your brain, and that thought is, oh, we have another test. Right? We've all been there. We've all been there. I get it. My professor just sent out an email and said, hey, everyone, just so you're aware, there's a test coming up, and better yet, there's a 10-page paper that's due probably the week prior. Just so you know, you probably shouldn't wait until the night before to finish this. I'm just saying, you should probably actually work on this, so ta-ta for now, toodaloo. And the second I read the heading of the email, my heart sank and I'm like, oh dude, your final's coming up. When you get reminded that you have a test, or you check your syllabus, or your teacher says, hey listen, there's a test or a quiz coming up soon, what do? Because in my experience, what most students do is you panic. You panic because you know you're going to be tested, you're going to be tried. You are going to have someone pushing your buttons to see how much knowledge they can yank out of your brain. And the scary truth of it for a lot of people is this. Most of you haven't studied until probably the week prior to the test. Am I wrong? I'm not going to sit here and try and lie to you and say that everything's perfect and that I studied every moment of every day. Y'all, if I didn't have to study, I wasn't, because I could have put that time towards something else. What? Practicing. Developing relationships with my buddies, just relaxing, literally anything but studying. And now going through grad school, I've learned the reason I put studying off was not because I didn't want to learn. It was because I didn't know how to learn. See, I got so nervous about doing poorly on a test that I would just put it off, thinking that was going to make it better. Y'all, listen to this. Bad news does not get better with time. Putting off your studying does not make the act better when you have to actually cram for it. Various studies have been proven to show that cram studying, where you throw a bunch of information into your head in a very, very short period of time, be it 1 to 3 days prior to your exam, is hands down the worst possible way that you can study. Now, why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we purposely put ourselves in these bad positions so that we don't do well? Well, it's simple. Because some of you are too afraid that you might actually do well. I know for a lot of you that sounds really contradictory, like, Bobby, why would I put that off if I know I could do well? Because your focus isn't on school. Your focus isn't on this test. Your focus is on everything else that's going on in your life. And being a student, having all of these other things that you have to worry about, it's intimidating. So you put it off. And I don't blame you, because it happens. I'm going through it right now. I told you all this starting season 2 of Student Fyre, being the 2019-2020 school year. We're going to get transparent, we're going to get vulnerable, and we're going to get raw here. Y'all, I have been 2 weeks ahead on my homework for the past 2 weeks now, meaning I had no excuse come Monday afternoon to not write this paper. And guess what? This paper is now due in a week, and I'm just starting it. Why? Because I haven't written a paper in a long time. I got scared. I got nervous. I'm having to write this paper in a different format than I've ever written before, and I'm going, oh man, what if this goes badly? Instead of doing the logical thing and going, wait a second, man. You have hundreds of friends that know how to write papers, that are good at editing, that would love to help you out. You have so many educational resources right in front of you, and you're refusing to use them because you're a little nervous. Who's ever been in that position? What do we do to fix this? How do we make it so that we don't put ourselves in this position ever again? If we're going to go to the next level in our educational career, I need you to do things that you've never done in your educational career. I need you to be willing to not don't take that step out of your comfort zone. I want you to leap a whole foot out of your comfort zone and see where you land. You don't know where you're going to land. You don't know how you're going to handle it. But I want you to try because I want you to have a better educational career this year than you did last year. And last year is when we put everything off. So what do we do to fix this? Last episode, we talked about the 5-minute rule. You go ahead and you take 5 minutes just to start your paper. Start studying. Just 5 minutes a day. See, the reason a lot of you put these tests off and you put off studying is because you don't understand that your brain is designed to take information in. It's terrible at recalling information. Do you ever notice how easy it is to describe something to someone, but it's so hard to go back and say, oh wait, but what did I have for breakfast last week? Last Friday morning, what did I have for breakfast? You probably can't remember it because it's irrelevant information, right? But you're so good at going, oh, well, I watched this documentary on blah, 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 blah. And you could just rattle off what happened. Look at what your brain is good at. Your brain is good at taking information in. It is your job now to learn how you recall that information. I want you to try something this week. So say you have a test, or say you have a quiz. Heck, this can even be your homework. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to take your homework this week. Better yet, I want you to take a test that you're studying for. However you need to integrate this, make it work for you. But for example, let's say you have a piece of homework that you have to fill out. Cool. You fill the homework out, you're looking through your book, you're looking online, you're doing it correctly. Don't just go to Quizlet and plug the answers in. As cool as it is that you're getting your homework done, you're not learning, and that's not the part of the exercise. But you fill your homework out. Cool. Now afterwards, I want you to take 5 minutes. Set your clock 5 minutes. And I want you to go through your homework, and I want you to pretend that you're teaching it to the class. Stand up in your room, in your dorm room, wherever you're at, and I want you to walk around and pretend that you're actually teaching the information. Why? The human brain is so good at taking information in, but when you are actually teaching it to someone else, you have to force your brain to recall the information, and you have to force your brain to understand how it's going to give the information back. Because trust me, if you're giving a speech or if you're leading a lesson, one of the most embarrassing things is not knowing where you're at because you don't know your information. If you do this for 5 minutes, you are so much more likely come test time to actually be able to go, oh, wait. What is this? When is the Declaration of Independence written? What year? I don't really know. But if you've actually sat there and said, oh, pretending you're talking to a class and say, well, class, in 1776, the Declaration of Independence was written. When you actually have that on your test, you're going to look at it and go, I've lived this moment before. I've experienced this. It's like we said in the very first episode of Student Fyre. Your experiences are what make you strong. Your experiences are what tell your story. Your experiences are what are going to make you successful. And your success lies strictly in your own hands. I know this sounds like a crazy little, oh, Bobby's making us do this extra homework on top of the homework that I already have. Listen, y'all, I'm here to help you kill the game. I want to watch you thrive both in the classroom and outside. I want you to change the course of history for your family forever. Because you are going to take your life to the next level in ways your grandparents and your parents never could. Now, let's grow. Have a wonderful week. Hang in there. Rock with whatever you gotta do. And most importantly, if you need help, if you need guidance, if you need just a quick question answered, hit me up. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. You know where to reach me. Please do. Because I got you, right? I got you. So hang in there. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace! That was another awesome episode of the Student Fyre podcast. Thank y'all for sticking around for this long, but I got a question for you. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? See, when I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions, like how do I record an episode? How do I get my show to apps? Like, do I have to do it individually, or can I just have one place that does everything for me? And most importantly, how do I make money from my podcast? Is that even an option? Well, honestly, y'all, your answer is Anchor. Anchor is the one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it is 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now, Anchor can match you with great sponsors that want to advertise on your podcast. Yes, you. That means you can get paid to make the podcast. You can get paid to podcast the right way. In fact, that's exactly what I'm doing right now by reading this ad. If you want to get in on this, if you want to make your podcast a reality and you want your success and your word to be a thing, man, you already know. Hop over to Anchor and give it a start. You won't regret it. Catch y'all in the next episode. Peace.
I am excited to bring you my new book, Trendsetter, 7 Steps to Radically Stand Out to Be the Best You. This book details my journey of coming to the United States and being excited to embrace the American culture. But unfortunately, my culture was not accepted, and I found myself being bullied as a young girl. And in this process, I decided that I wanted to disconnect from my culture to be more accepted into American culture. And through that process, I got so depressed from trying to fit in that I attempted suicide my freshman year in high school. So this book talks about the journey of what I did to become radically transformed to be the strong woman I am today. This book is something that's really going to enable the reader to understand and embrace who they are, embrace what makes them special, and become radically transformed. Get your copy today at becomingatrendsetter.com. Again, that is becomingatrendsetter.com, or check it out at my website at aishathomas.org.